Hello, it's Micah. So today I wanted to do Oracle to the Extreme, which is Tarot to the Extreme questions just with Oracle decks. So first off, we got Minimalist, and I chose the Modern Mary Oracle. It's mainly just like statues and a keyword or key phrase. So, I mean, some have a little bit of scenes, but overall, the imagery's pretty simple, you know? Assistance. Random thing. So, there's this one song. It's either by KMFDM or MDFMK or something, I forget. But it's kind of morbid, but they said the only reason you're still alive is because someone has decided to let you live. And like it sounds like mean and like messed up, but like it's true, you know? Man, construction is loud. I am sorry. I keep trying to like avoid it, but it just keeps coming back. All right. For Maximalist, we got the Earthcraft Oracle. This could have been like in the day one or whatever, but it's fairly busy, right? It's color and line work to the max. It's pretty. I might make a video on some of like the shadowy cards because they were surprisingly darker than I expected. So, might do that. It is gorgeous. Ugh. For daytime, the Wilderness Collide Oracle. Some of the images are darker, but overall, I think it's a very, you know, bright. I love this card. Beautiful, like inspiring, like yes, today is going to be a good day, you know, type of feel. Gorgeous. For nighttime, the Magic of You Oracle. I mean, this is also like a mood, right? Um but typically I would be picking this deck at night to like contemplate some stuff that I can't stop thinking about, or like fall and winter. I think it's good for that. It's also a little bit shadow worky, you know? The images make you feel something, and it's usually something slightly unpleasant, but that just means we have to deal with it. Detox. Cleanse and restore yourself, right? But yeah, definitely a nighttime vibe. Also underrated, in my opinion. I'm giving best shuffle to the Urban Crow Oracle. I love MJ Collinine's indie cardstock. Even though it's like big, it just shuffles so good. And it doesn't stick. It's just, it's not too big, I can't hold on to it. So, I haven't been using this deck. I'm going to do a fall video soon, so I'll try to pull it out more then. It's very like damp and wet and like fall, right? You know? Like it's always like wet and gloomy here in fall, even though I love fall. But yeah, it's a vibe. Hear me out on this one. For worst shuffle, I chose Mildred Payne's Oracle and Black Enchantment, and it's not because the cardstock's bad, because it's really good. But it's too big for me to like shuffle like this easily, or like for me to riffle it, you know? And I could do a side riffle, But I'm like too precious with this deck. Like I don't want to get any weird bends or creases. So I'm just like, for now, and I've had it for like at least a year, I'm patiently awkward when it comes to shuffling this. And like I said, the cardstock's great. It's just a little too oversized for me to handle. And if you didn't know, this deck has like duality. Like, are you the victim or are you the one like attacking? You know, I'm pretty sure there's a PDF or something on this that I might get. I know there was a really good video that I watched when I got it, that explained a lot of the duality of the cards. But yeah. So yeah, it's not that the cardstock's bad. It's just that it's a little too tall for me to comfortably handle. I love this deck though. It's awesome. All right. Most confronting, I chose the Reclaim, which a lot of people probably would because emotions kind of suck, you know? They kind of do. Powerlessness. And not all the cards are bad, but you can still, even with the good cards, you can still like protection, for example. You could be like, well, I don't actually feel protected right now. I feel pretty vulnerable. So yeah. Light and shadow with everything, but yeah, a deck being full of emotions, and confronting how you're actually feeling about things, is hard to do. Most people want to ignore it. Surrender, you know? Definitely. Most comforting, I chose the Inner Child Oracle. And, you know, a lot of people have like repressed emotions about their childhood and stuff, but it covers those subjects while still putting like a nice twist on it. Okay, I'll just read this. You are wanted. The fear of abandonment can be a driving force in our lives. If we felt unwanted as a child, we can continue these patterns into adulthood through compulsively seeking or rejecting the attention of others. Take time to journal about what abandonment and rejection mean to you. How can you show your inner child today that they are wanted? I totally have abandonment issues. I wasn't planning on that being the card that I read, but it's confronting the emotional issues, but it's still like nice about it. Like it's like a really sweet-hearted therapist. You know? So this could have gone in several different categories. Remember the good. Emotions are the reflection, you know? Boundaries. Disappointment is not the end. So I think you can see what I mean. It has a comforting twist. Every day we got the Wild Unknown Archetypes. This is my newest Oracle deck, and I think why I enjoy pulling from the cards so much is because, well, from cards from the deck so much, is because the meaning is something to chew on instead of, oh, I've never seen this one. It's really pretty. The meanings aren't like go with the flow or, you know what I mean? It's, it has more depth to it. I wouldn't consider it so much divinatory as kind of learning for me and thinking about things in a different way. And I like that. So I've been pulling from it a lot. Every so often is going to be the earthly souls and spirits. It's a little bit more seasonal, even though I decorate like witchiness year round. The main reason why I don't use this more is because of the, in my opinion, limiting keywords. I mean, maybe I just don't sit with it long enough. But if I pull like tranquility, like I guess it's like what, how can I bring that more into my life? But that's not really like magical, you know? It's not really how I read. Like if I'm having like a crappy day and I pull this and it's like joyous and I'm like, screw you, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm too harsh. I heard a long time ago that this was going to come out mass market, and apparently it is. I forget who's producing it, but I would repurchase this if it came with a better book. Because all right, let's, can I do alphabetical today? Whatever. So, yeah, for each of the keywords, it's just literally, oh, there's joyous. Okay. Appreciative, overflow, and choice. Like, if I'm not getting enough out of a deck's keywords, I need the book to be more, you know? Especially with Oracle, because Tarot, I think, unless it's a really like complex deck, like I know the tarot meanings, but oracles don't have set meanings. So if I'm wanting a story from the author, I'm not getting it with more keywords, basically. For overrated, I chose Wisdom of the Oracle. And to be fair, this is a knockoff, so it doesn't like have the guidebook or anything. I got it years ago before I knew what knockoffs were. But this is what I mean for me, like limiting keywords, like how I read cards, like imagine. Like that doesn't do anything for me. I mean, some of them are better than others, but like Treasure Island, like I don't know. And I used to use this deck. Like chop wood. Like what? When I got this deck a long time ago, like I used to use it. So I think it's just how my practice has changed is different, and decks like this just don't work for me anymore. Yeah. I don't know. Let me know if any of you have had something like this, like a progression. Honestly, I don't really use Oracle that much in general. Yeah. Okay. So for underrated, I chose the Deep Place Oracle by Ray Serafina Barker. This deck is gorgeous. The art's beautiful. It has keywords. There's a lot of cards. Does it say how many? I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of cards, okay? And I think that's a downfall for like a lot of mass market decks is they don't have enough, and it makes it limiting. But the depth and the emotion I get from these images is just gorgeous. It just makes you want to like stare at them until you fall into the card, right? Ugh. And the book is good too, right? So that's important. That's one of the things that makes it like underrated in my opinion. So you get like a description, theme, a bunch of questions. So if you want to journal or just like think about them, affirmations, and a practice. Like, what? You know, she put so much in this that chances are if like you don't vibe with some part of it, you'll vibe with other. Like, look how many questions there are just for one card. Like there's a lot. So it's more expansive. And I think that's just fantastic. Yes. So for light work, I chose The Wordless Oracle by the same artist and author, Ray Serafina Barker. So what makes this deck a little bit different is you can use your like intuition and your eyes, right? To pick an element from the card. So you like sit with it. Oh my god, I love it. And then in the book, you can choose something to look up. Like there's what's going on. There's trees, there's clouds, there's flowers, sun, colors. This one's black and white, wave, moon, you know? And I don't know. It gives me like some like spiritual clarity and like expansiveness. It doesn't feel like the mundane world. I mean, I guess it's kind of like heaven, you know? Like this beautiful liminal space of like peace and tranquility and knowing. I don't think I really do light work, so I'm not 1,000% on the definition. But I guess like awakening is how I would describe this. Like it awakens your mind to serenity and deeper knowledge. So I have videos on like almost all these decks. I have one on this, but yeah, so you pick a word, and then there's a bunch of stuff on it, including like the questions, affirmation, and description. And what's cool if you're like, you know, I chose this, and then you look at it, and if you're like, well, I want more, then you can like pick something else from the card. So yeah. And for shadow work, I chose the Oracle of Shadow and Light by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. So I think partially this is my inner teenager. And yeah, it gives me that that darker, why am I feeling this emotion? What's making me uncomfortable? And like how the book's written. I mean, some of it's a little teenagery for me now, but I don't know. It's like the quiet stillness and thought on the darker things. I think I'm running out of ways to explain things at this point. But yeah. I like it. She's my girlfriend. I don't pull her out very often, but I mean, I'm sure most of you get like a feeling or like a craving for your deck. You're like, that one. And that's what she does for me. So yeah, hopefully I see some people do this tag as well. It's fun. And I shall see you soon.